Hi, everyone.
Okay, you're all set to go.
Thank you. Welcome. Today is March 3rd, and the time is 7:05. This meeting of the Youth Commission is now called to order. My name is Erica Zeiger, and I am the chair for the Youth Commission. This open meeting of the Northborough Youth Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025 relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. All members of the Youth Commission are allowed and encouraged to participate either in person or remotely. The act allows the Northborough Youth Commission to meet entirely in person and remotely, so as long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of the recording may do this by going to Northborough Media Connection on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please state in the affirmative. Carrie Wolf,
Present.
Judy Boyle,
Here.
Susan Ogar,
Here.
Jennifer Persons,
Here.
Joan Clementi,
Here.
and Ashley Klebanow is not here. Staff, when I call your name, please affirm. Isabella,
Present.
Caitlin Mitchell,
Here.
Liz Nolan,
Here.
Mary Ellen Dugan,
Here.
Jeremy Moyer is not here. Allison Dennehy is not here. Arjun
Present.
and Emma.
Present.
All right, we can go ahead and start the meeting. How's everyone feeling?
Cold.
Cold,
Yeah.
cold, yes.
Ready for some sun.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and start with approving the minutes from February 3rd, 2026. I did notice, and I just noticed it now, that Ashley is listed in person, but she was actually remote. And
Do we need to amend it then? How does that work? Do we need to make a motion to amend it, or how do we do that?
You can approve with that edit.
and then I believe when they get posted, they'll have the that she's remote. They'll have the correction.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the amended minutes.
And I'll second it.
Great. Sue has made a motion and Judy has seconded. Everyone in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. So the minutes for February 3rd have been approved with one correction that Ashley Klebanow was remote for that meeting. If we want to move on to any updates from the schools or the youth liaisons.
I think there was the table for the Healthy Relationships Month at the lunches, and a lot of people like were participating in that, and the Harbinger is going to start writing an article about that.
Oh, that's great.
So we'll let Liz give that update since it was really her and Emily Bordeaux from Southborough who spearheaded it. So There's not much else. We're waiting on our Metro West Adolescent Health Survey data. We have a great data group that's together that's going to be working on it and presenting it.
Perfect, perfect. One thing I did want to mention, and I'm going to make sure that I get the word out to Allison and Jeremy, if possible, Arjun and Allison, if you could let us know by about mid-April, early to mid-April, if you would like to continue on for next year, you just have to send me an email. And then Emma and Jeremy, I know you're graduating. Emma, I know you have a sister. Um, and so does Allison. But if there is anybody else that you think would be great for the commission, please don't hesitate to refer them. You remember the short application, and then we will go from there. Um, Spiritware, Sue, anything on?
Yeah, sure. So officially, we wrapped up on March 1st. So people who are working the schools, I don't know if you picked up your bins. Um, I picked up Lincoln and Melican today, and I'd love to get a tally from the other people. I don't know if you have that handy, or you can email it to me because I'd just like to have some data. But I'll give you a quick rundown of what I've collected. So overall, 32 pieces. 26 were for Algonquin. They're not from Algonquin necessarily, but they're Algonquin branded gear. And two from Melican, three from Lincoln Street, one from Z. Um, the Z thing was put into a different bin. Like didn't pick it up there. And it's a mix of sweatshirts, t-shirts, some long sleeves, a thing of sweatpants, a couple hats. So I'm washing everything. I already gave Mary Ellen a bundle of stuff, and I have more. So I just wanted to ask everyone else who was covering a school, what did you guys have anything to pick up?
I haven't picked up yet, but I will tomorrow. I'll be
Okay.
curious to see what they have.
Okay, great.
I picked up today from Algonquin, and I have a hat, two t-shirts, and a three-quarter zip.
Okay.
And
Great.
they're washed. I will just drop them off at the school or.
Yeah, so that was my next question. So Mary Ellen, would you like me to drop each thing back to those schools, or should I drop them all with you somewhere?
You can drop them off at the schools. I don't have to be a part of it. I would just drop it off to the nurses at the schools.
Okay, great. So, Judy, did you have a school too?
Yeah, I had Peasley and Z, and I have not picked up yet. I was actually thinking of it today, and I went back to the flyer, and I just forgot to go over. So I'll go
Yeah.
by tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean, no huge rush. But if you can do me a favor, obviously we're washing the stuff and bringing it back to the schools. But if you could just shoot me an email with what you collected, just so we can, just have a little tally. So, I mean, I had 32, and then with Erica's added stuff, sounds like we'll be close to about 40 pieces. I don't have any benchmark as to what we were looking for because it was the first time we're doing it. I guess the question we'll have to consider for next year is it worth doing it for the elementary? So once the other schools are picked up, we might decide we should just keep it to Algonquin. And then I had a bunch of people drop stuff off at my house. So what we could do is say, there's a bin at Algonquin, and then for the other schools, they could just drop it off at my house. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
worth going through the process of having the bins. Anyone have feedback on that?
I think that sounds great. I think from our perspective, collecting, that was quite a number from Algonquin. And then I think before next year, maybe Mary Ellen can check in with the nurses and kind of see what they thought from their end as far as distribution.
I think that it would work better at the elementary school if you do it at the beginning of the year when
Okay.
they do their drives, when they have their spirit wear, where the PTO is, selling the spirit wear and then offering it at that time, to trade it in, or I don't know if it's like I don't know, like they have uniform resales that when you have
Right,
like
right.
school.
Yeah,
I think there's lots of families who hand it down, but I think there's some who just have no use for it once someone outgrows it. So,
right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And some people do want to keep like their high school stuff, because they played a sport or whatever, but probably not the other, American t-shirt. It's probably not something they're gonna wear again. Okay, so I think, it'll be interesting, Mary Ellen, maybe later in the year we can follow up with you to see how the nurses felt it went, because don't have contact with them. So once they get all the stuff, just see, was it random or was it useful? I mean, I think we're at the high school level, because there's quite a bit of stuff and some of it's pretty nice. I'm assuming they would
Yeah.
encourage it. I just don't know for at the lower level if it's just kind of random. So any feedback from them would be great too. Um, anything else, Erica?
No, I don't think so, but
Okay.
thank you for bringing this to our attention. I think we all thought it was a great idea, and I think it's been successful. So I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
this
it's
is
pretty
a
small scale, but I think, people that were dropping stuff off were kind of, I think, excited. People would say, like, I got a few people I knew texted me, but then a few people that I have no idea who they are sent me an email, and I said, sure, just drop it off my garage and I'll wash it for you. And I think, people feel good to be able to do something too, so it's going to a good place. But I think people are like, oh, good, I have this stuff sitting here collecting dust. So, yeah.
yeah.
I think the
Um,
other thing is to think about maybe with the athletic director when
hmm
reaching out, because we know that all that gear is expensive and there might be students who can't afford it. And it
hmm
might be that, not just from the nurses, but maybe the athletic for if there's team wear or something,
A lot of it is teamwear. Like, I
Yeah.
just got a bunch of gymnastic stuff. Um, Mary Ellen, would you want me to reach out to
I think we can have the
Austin?
nurses just let the athletic director and his administrative assistant know that the nurses have this in their
Right. So if it's
office
just,
that,
yeah, if they know of a
if
student
they
that,
know of someone, because, there's scholarship and things like that. So they know of the
right,
people who might need it.
right. Do you want me to reach out to him, or will you mention it to the nurses, or?
I'll email both of them and I'll CC you on it. So
Okay, cool. I'm just being specific so it doesn't fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, great.
Perfect. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is we've visited it earlier in the year, but we wanted to bring it back with our new members. But it's youth civic engagement. Carrie actually brought this up, so I was going to have her kind of give you the update and the gist of what we're looking at or what we're hoping to look at.
Yeah, thank you. So, um, when we were first discussing this, the original idea was just around thinking about the ways in which youth can get involved with town government, where there's everything from our youth liaisons, for example, through to their ability to listen in on any of the meetings and commissions or boards across the town, but also that even if they are not yet of voting age, you're welcome to attend town meeting. There's just essentially a lot of access points. And so we were brainstorming ways to get in front of youth and at what ages. So a couple of the things that we talked about in the end of last spring and then the fall really were around getting in front of the eighth grade classes at Milliken, but also thinking about are there touch points for kids that are about to age into voting age, who are seniors who are already of voting age, to target some sort of communications or outreach to them, just really to encourage them that they are a valid voice in our town and how our town develops. So that is the very quick in a nutshell. Yeah, just one more asset or not asset, sorry, one more facet. I just really was coming at it from this place of when we're thinking holistically about youth. In the data field, there's often this phrase around like nothing about us without us. And I was thinking about that same idea here, where we do have our youth liaisons this year. And so definitely we will be eager to hear from Arjun and Emma. But also just thinking about even younger ages as a part of ongoing civic engagement and education all in.
One idea we had talked about was having voter registration at the high school. However, when I reached out to the Northborough town clerk, she reached out to Southborough's town clerk because she was relatively new at the time and said that now when they get their driver's license, they're automatically registered. So the last time they did that, it was a very small percentage of who needed to be registered. So the town clerk's office did not think it was, advantageous to do that. So we kind of scrapped that idea.
Do we know how many students actually register to vote when they get their license? Like you
Well,
have to choose it. It's not like automatic, right? You have to choose it.
um, I'll let Emma speak but I know that when my son did it, it was just there and he signed. Like they put it with the other paperwork for his license that he needed to, and then we did receive a letter from the town. But my son would have just signed whatever was in front of him too. So Emma might have a better idea. And excuse me for 1 second as I have to get my dog.
I'm trying to remember. I'm going through
Yeah, I'm
Hannah's,
honestly not sure if
I,
I did or
I'm
not.
I'm going through Hannah's permit right now, and I think it's part of the permit application.
Yeah, I remember it's definitely in the process somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it just a box you check or?
Ah,
I
I
think
thought it was
so.
a
Maybe it's another
form.
paper.
I think it was a form that when we went to AAA and when we went to AAA, you they make you sign so many forms. And I
right.
think it was just one of those forms.
I'm going to be going through this with Hannah to AAA next week, so I can let you guys know.
I think it would be a great idea to make it a big deal for people who are voting for the first time.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, like have I don't know, a ride and a limo ride to your voting or something, because I think that there's a lot of civic organizations in town that would want to promote this too, as well as the town. So, could we make it a big deal? Somehow your first time voting and, really play it up and make it a great celebration for them to be involved.
Yeah, maybe something like, first time voting, or come after school and we'll give you an ice cream cone and have balloons or, something like that to make it feel special. That's a great idea.
I know that when you were talking about the middle school, Carrie, they do have civics projects, Arjun and Emma. Um, right? It starts in middle school where you do have a civics project you have to do. So that's a great time to, bring it to the attention of the middle school staff.
Do you also know that the teacher of AP Gov, Mr. Kellett, is really excited about doing civics like initiatives in school. Um, so one thing that he had like one thing that he does is that he brings all the fifth graders into Algonquin and teaches them about like government and stuff. So I think that he would also be really open to like having maybe a civics fest or some sort of um event or event to promote civics and like civics education.
Yeah, I'm in his class and I definitely agree he would be into that. So if that sounds good, I could definitely ask him.
Yeah. Could you, I missed which teacher it was. Would you mind repeating it?
Mr. Kellett, the AP Gov teacher.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be great if you want to mention that. That's a great idea.
Is that something that you would do in the spring or towards like the fall, towards November kind of thing? are you looking for kids to get, and also like the voting, would that be like for the town election that you get all excited about?
My guess, just with timing, it would be the midterms in November.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Because yeah, I think the primaries may even be before kids go back to school next September. They are, I think, September 1st this year. Not the
Oh,
first,
that's
the second.
early.
Yeah, like they're early. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be great if we can build off of what's already happening with Mr. Kellett's interest. If there is a role where he would want one of us to come in, I would be happy to also like volunteer and chat just what it can look like. I think we're not even a voting board, an advisory board. I feel like it's a really great way to tell someone like start to dabble your toes in. The fact that you can listen to any of them retroactively, thanks to Northborough Media Connections, like that, it's really accessible, and it can still feel like there's a massive gap even when you're an adult who knows a lot. Yeah.
Perfect. So Emma, you will reach out to Mr. Kellett in class tomorrow or when you
Yeah, I
have?
definitely. I have class on Thursday, so I
Yeah,
can definitely
whenever.
ask him then. Should I just ask him if he'd be interested in like a civics thing for the voting, or
Yeah, maybe Arjun, the two of you could kind of, you know, kind of workshop it and see what you can come up with and then mention it to him and just kind of take it from there. You can maybe email Carrie, you can always include me, and then we can talk about it next meeting
yeah,
or
sure.
May.
He
Mhm.
might have some ideas too,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
ways to even promote it at the younger
yeah,
grades where
Mhm.
he brings in the younger grades right now. So
which is
Yeah, that's
fantastic.
actually this week, I think. It might
Hmm.
be tomorrow or Thursday actually. So I'll ask him then, yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Especially with the civic action projects. Like I know having some sort of middle school connection there would be helpful because everyone does it. So it would be like a very civics focused time. And I think they do it in the spring, so I want to say like April or May.
Yeah, it's definitely towards the end of the year.
Hmm.
or even if you promoted something around town meeting, whatever's big on the ballot, and have them do like a pretend vote or something at the middle schools, and to see what the hell, just to get them involved as how a town meeting would work.
Yeah, I know. I think one of the teachers at middle school has done that. I wish I could remember who, where they voted. So it would be nice. It was just in one class, I think, but that would be a fun idea. All right, great. Thank you. Anything else, Carrie? Or we
No,
can
this is great and exciting. Yeah.
kind of start with this.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then Isabella and Liz, do you want to go ahead and give the department's report?
Yeah, I'm going to start with kind of a discussion. So we are planning two larger events. So our health fair is April 15th, right, Liz? The date changed, but so we are planning, this is our second annual health fair. So we're really excited. We will likely have 16 to 20 nonprofits and local and state organizations. So that will be at the library. So that is one event that we're planning. Another event that is new that we are going to pilot this year, we are collaborating with Southborough Youth and Family Services to do a teen volunteer fair. Also, so that will be at the high school. That is going to be May 12th. It's a Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. So we're in the really early stages of planning this, but thinking along the lines of how important volunteering is, honestly, along what Carrie was saying about civic engagement, really just getting involved in your community. So we're looking for ideas from you all about organizations that are, in Northborough, also outside of Northborough, so our local community, any volunteer organizations that you know of that would accept teens. So we're thinking like middle school and high school aged youth who are looking to engage in the community.
Community meals,
Mm-hmm.
the food pantry, stocking shelves are two that come to mind right away.
The library also has like a teen volunteer program.
Are you specifically looking for Northborough?
Northborough, but I would say like I know Community Harvest is a
Yeah,
good
that's what I
one
was going
that
to
they
mention. Yeah,
yeah.
my kids
I've
did
reached
that
out
one.
to them today.
Okay.
I would say, Liz, one other big piece is we're working with Michelle Kalin at the school. So she's the career services staff member. So we're working with her to really include the school and the students. So she was able to do a small student survey. So we use that data to kind of pick the day, pick the time. Their interest really varied. So a lot of medical interest, but also vet and Liz, I can't really remember what else, but I think the topics were wide ranging.
Yeah, definitely medical was high on the list, but also, there were a few that wanted to help the homeless, help with the Southborough schools. I think it was because it was both for Northborough and Southborough. And, just to see like where it could be anything from like one day things, like an event, or it could be like an ongoing thing. So we are just trying to compile a list of opportunities and then we'll reach out to them. We're going to have it in the cafeteria at the high school. So there's plenty of room. I think we are able to have quite a few if we can get them to come. We're kind of looking at all avenues. Like, obviously local ones are good, especially for those in middle school who might not be able to drive yet, or it'll be easy drop off for parents. But, when I was talking to Michelle Palin today, she said that even like, I think it was Beth Israel Hospital has volunteer opportunities that some students have taken advantage of in the past, which to me is like, oh, that's so far. But, those are maybe something that at least we can have some information on, if not somebody in person from the hospital. Right.
I was just thinking, for the honor societies, I know National Honor Society is a lot of hours required, and then some like Lindsay was in, I think, science and English and national, and there's a lot there. So I don't know if we could connect with the student advisor for that because they may already have a list of local places. Because I know that as things would come up, they would use if the kids were some of the kids because of their schedules with sports were sort of scrambling to get the hours. So I think, there's a lot of things in town too, so food pantry, but then there's also like, turkey trot, like all these, sort of event-based stuff. So they might have a running list. It was Mrs. Roy, I think. Emma and Arjun, I'm not sure if you know who the National Honor Society advisor, but it'd be easy enough to figure it out. So
I
that might
think
be a
it's Miss
resource.
Roy, but I have to double check.
Yeah. Okay.
But in terms of like the Beth Israel thing, there's also a lot of more local hospitals that have volunteering programs. I know the UMass Metro West does, and I think there was a list that Miss Kaylin gave that I can forward to you guys if that would be helpful.
So Michelle Kalin did give us a list, and so we're kind of
Oh, okay, perfect.
taken from a lot of people. So she has, and I think those two houses, St. Vincent's and UMass, are both also
Okay.
on that list as well. But we're trying to think of out of the box a little bit too, so that if it's something that matches with the student interest, that they have that opportunity to kind of be a part of that environment as well. There's some that wanted like environmental and nature, so like the farm, the community farm would be great or something like that. I know they're always looking too, right, Sue?
I'm not sure if anybody thought of Salvation Army.
We can definitely check on that as well. We're going to start making, calls and emails to, just one to see if they have opportunities. if there's any age, if they have to be over 16 or if they take middle school ages, what type of opportunities they have. So we can kind of make a list of that as well. I want to make sure if we're inviting middle schoolers that we also have opportunities for them when they get there. But I'll add that to the list.
There's a Victory Garden in Southborough, which is kind of like the St. Rose Garden, but there's no religious affiliation.
Okay, great. I have that on the list as well.
Perfect. So if anyone comes up with ideas, feel free to shoot them over to Liz and I. We're really excited to offer this for the first time. We're focusing on youth this time, but would love to possibly, if this goes well, to expand it to, all ages for hopefully next year, just because volunteering is so important, both in the community, but also, civic engagement for committees and boards. I know we're always trying to fill those spots. Outside of that, we have been busy assisting residents with utilities. I'm sure we can all relate that these utilities just continue to rise. So Liz and Caitlin have been busy supporting residents with local and state resources. And I think with that, I will pass it to Liz to talk about healthy relationships, how that went in the schools, and then our upcoming webinar for parents.
Yep. So February was Healthy Teen Relationship Month. So in conjunction with Southborough, what we did was have tables at the lunchtime at the high school. It was broken up with the vacation week, but it didn't lose that much momentum. But what we had is the DA's office, the Worcester DA's office, had a representative that came to talk to students in the 11th grade health classes. And we're going to extend that information and education to parents, and it's this Thursday. It's a virtual Zoom meeting on that topic. So the login and information on the Zoom is all of our social media and on our website as well. But if you need it, you can just let me know. I can Zoom it, I can pass it on to you as well. The tabling event was, I think, pretty well engaged. It started off a little bit slow until people realized there were some great raffles, thanks to Mary Ellen. So that got them over to the table. In order to earn a raffle ticket, they had to either answer a question about what they, like red flags, green flags, true and false type of questions on healthy relationships. And also they had the opportunity of doing a pedal. So Ash Wheeler, who is the youth counselor, I think that's her title, she came up with the idea and to make a wall art, basically. So it was each student would make a petal to a flower, and on that petal they would write something that they value in a friendship or a healthy relationship. So that was popular, and it came out really nice. I hope it stays up there for a little while and not taken down too quickly. Like I said, they earned the raffle tickets, and we saw some repeat kids, which was great because they were engaged and they knew what they wanted to do, whether it was the pedal or the question. But I think we had a pretty good turnout, and we hope that going forward that this would be something that is kind of annual. I know the health classes are semester long, so I think the idea is to have the DA's office representative come in for both semesters to speak in the classrooms, and then we'll do the tabling events. I don't know if we'll do it both semesters or one part during the February again, but I think it was successful and definitely worth doing again.
Mary Ellen, anything to add? Thank you to the Junior Women's Club who wrote, Mary Ellen and team wrote a small grant that was able to fund these raffles. So thank you for doing that.
I don't think there's anything to add. We raffled off prom tickets and senior ball tickets and Gonk Shop gift certificates and Dunkin's and Starbucks and Arrow. So it was pretty popular. Liz and Emily did a great job.
Yeah,
and
it was a great
all of their
collaboration.
support team, all their support.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We had some extra people that definitely helped. It got crowded at sometimes, as they were passing by after lunch or to lunch. But I thought it was good engagement. And our June stopped by on the last day for some pictures for the Harbinger. So looking forward to that article.
Perfect. And then one other, oh, sorry, Erica.
No, I was muted. When's the paper copy coming out of the Harbinger?
It is being put in the works.
Okay, so is it okay?
I'm like, we're doing a print issue. I think it should be out by the end of the month, but I'm not sure if this piece
Yeah.
will be in that issue. Um, it might be like I'll have to talk to the editors.
Yeah, no rush. I was just curious. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
but it will be coming out at the end of the month.
Great.
Thank you, Arjun. So Girls United was posted in through the rec programming
Shut the
spring and
door.
summer. So over, I think it only took 2 days. So we have 10 signups and 2 people on the wait list. So we're really excited to have a fully, signed up Girls United. So that will start next Thursday and it will run for 6 weeks. And Caitlin, if you want to update maybe on Words of Wellness.
Yeah, so Words of Wellness, we're still doing the this month I can't really do it with my blur right now. The book for this month is another fiction book. I figured why not keep going on the train. It's The Brilliant Life of Eudora Honeysett. I'm gonna call out Liz for the book suggestion for this month. And yeah, it's still we're still looking for people to join if anybody's interested. The books are available behind the circulation desk. So we'll go from there. We did have one person come to book club last month and we had a wonderful discussion about the book Authenticity Project. So yeah.
What day is the book club, Caitlin? Can you remind us?
Yeah. So it is the 17th of March from 6 to 7. It's in the teen adult program room. So on the second floor.
Is it always the third Tuesday?
Yes. Yeah, always the third Tuesday. I know. I think Junior Women's has a book club around the same time. I think I remember.
We'll
But
just
yeah.
have to get on the same book next time.
Yeah.
I
You'll have to
haven't
let us
picked
know.
I haven't picked the next month, so
No, you'll have to
what a
let us
plan.
know. Maybe we can do it together.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
And then one other upcoming event, Caitlin is doing a QPR suicide prevention training on March 22nd. It is a Sunday at Trinity Church, and that is open to everyone. So we are still pushing that out. I think we have 6 or 7 signups. So we will continue to push that out. And then we will likely do another QPR in May for Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah, I think we have 7 and it's at 11 a.m. on that Sunday. So
11:30.
or 11:30. Sorry. No, maybe my brain was like arrive at 11.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's up 18 and older. Right now we're still keeping it to that age group, but anybody is welcome to come to it.
And just 2 other things that are coming up, just to have on your radar for yourselves. We have the Bloodmobile coming back that's going to be on April 22nd, and that's again going to be at the library. And we are also having the Dana-Farber mammogram van that's coming on May 21st. And that's also going to be held at the library. So keep you posted on that information.
That's wonderful.
Can you tell us more about the mammogram van?
I can tell you more after tomorrow when I talk to the representative. It's going to be there. They arrive like at 6 in the morning, but the appointments I think start at 7 through 3:15. If you have insurance, when you have to register, you have to give your insurance if you have insurance. But I think if you don't have insurance, they can also work with that as well because they don't want anybody to go without it. But I'll have more details on the specifics and how that all works. I think if something is flagged, through the exam, that they'll let you know and also let your doctor know if that's, how you want it so for follow up.
Good. That all sounds fantastic. Thank you. Um, is there anything else?
March 6th through 7th is also Global Unplugged Day. So you can warm up because I think it's in May is, I wrote it down because I wanted to see.
Screen-free week.
Screen-free week. Yes, that is it. May 4th through the 10th, which happens to be Mental Health Awareness Month too. So it'll be a good tie-in. But this is good practice to do it for 24 hours, Friday to Saturday.
I had one last thing. I am attending the Pediatric Mind Body Symposium in May, and they touch upon some of the agenda items are the mind body connection with anxiety, art therapy, music therapy, all of this relating to youth. So I'm really excited and I'm looking forward to bringing some things back to the group. Um, I've never been, so it will be interesting, and I'll share that with everybody. And if anyone has an agenda item, please feel free to email me at any time. Because I usually we're always looking for new things. So if there's anything, please don't hesitate to email me.
Eric, I have a question. Do we want to try to get the ball rolling again on our speaker series?
That's
In the,
yes.
in the last part of 2025, we had talked about having a month, a speaker each month.
Yes. Yes. So
Do we want to get that on the agenda for next month?
Yeah, we can put that on the
identify-
agenda and maybe brainstorm or even beforehand if we can think of anybody. I had someone and now I can't remember. Um, but yeah, that would be a great idea.
My Judy, I can't pronounce her last name, Juvenello. She runs Ben Speaks. I've mentioned her a couple of times. She keeps reaching out and saying, "Hey, I'd love to come." Uh, so I don't know if it really fits into our,
Yeah.
we could explore that. We could,
Yeah.
maybe look into that a little bit, but
I can take a look, I'm
think
sure.
about getting some speakers lined up.
Yeah, I can definitely take a look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? Like speakers for this group or speakers for
this group? Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It was something we had discussed in like the third quarter of 2025. And Mary Ellen, you had somebody, and I think we've had like two speakers so far.
When Emily briefed on the results of the Metro West study, when Jen from the library came in, just some useful information that might be beneficial to us that we can pass along and share with the community. Is that right? That's what we had been thinking about.
Yeah.
Judy, what is Ben Speaks again? I know you have mentioned it before.
So I know that it's a nonprofit. It was born out of a mother's grief when her teenage son took his own life. So, she formed this nonprofit to, um, all that goes along with suicide prevention and, support and whatnot. So, and then she does a couple of different like awareness walks throughout the year or whatever. She's right here in Holliston, I think. And she's trying to get out and she goes to like high schools and speaks about Ben Speaks, and maybe we can make it a point to visit the website and maybe have a call with her and see if it's something that we want to support and bring to Northborough, Southborough.
Where is she based out of again?
I think she lives in Holliston.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's local, but she goes everywhere.
Does she need volunteers? We'll add her to the
Oh,
list.
I don't know. Probably with some of her, she does like fundraising a lot throughout the year. So maybe. I could certainly touch base with her. She just kind of, tickles me every once in a while, like, hey, can you get me on your speaker series?
Yeah.
And I kind of just say, well, I'll bring it before the group and see if it's something that we can fit you in.
Yeah, I'll take a peek too. I did before, but I'll remind myself.
Okay.
So,
I was also thinking possibly of inviting a local pediatrician to come and speak. He or she may be able to give some direction on what they think the community, the youth community may need. If we possibly could find one that's in town and invite him or her.
I think that's a good idea. Dr. Safdar Medina is the district physician. He is part of Encompass and the Wellness Coalitions or Commission. Sorry, Mary Ellen. So I'm sure if there was a topic we would want him to speak on, I can ask him.
yeah. Joan, do you have any topic in particular?
No, I don't. I was just thinking, they probably hear and see needs firsthand. And what I was really thinking of more was, so yes, I do, the middle schoolers and how I think there's a lot of anxiety, sadness, and when we're talking about suicide prevention, suicidal thoughts.
Yeah,
And, he or she may have a better grasp than we do and may know, the basic things that we might be able to do to help a group like that.
that's a great idea. I'd also wonder if he could touch upon body imaging because I know that that's such a um, it's such a
It certainly is.
yeah, area of contention, which leads to many of anxiety and so on. And it's becoming more prevalent with boys.
Wow.
So I
Right.
think that would be a great topic to bring in a pediatrician. So um, maybe we can look into getting him and just checking with his schedule because I'm sure he is busy
Yeah,
and then planning that.
I think that
Absolutely.
would be great. Yeah.
And I think once we get the Metro West Adolescent Health Survey data, we'll have a lot more
Yeah,
information about middle school and high school mental health, substance use, protective factors, all of that. So once we have that data, I'd be happy to do a presentation on that with Mary Ellen.
Thank you.
great.
And then maybe after that, we can decide or talk about workshops that might help kids that are struggling with these sorts of issues.
Yeah,
I mean, I know a lot has been done so far by this group, a real lot, but maybe there's something that we can add to it.
definitely. I think so.
Thank you.
So great.
I will say just quickly, like the QPR training, I think even though if I'm doing it for 18 and up, the skills in the training I just got this question. I'm going to answer it at the training itself from somebody on it. And it's asked like, can the skills be used for uh, children and teens? And the answer is yes. Yes. The same thing for the youth presentation. Hopefully down the line, they do have one, is the same format. So that's another reason why, like, I encourage people to kind of
Mhm.
learn about QPR and doing it because it does help with that. Like doctors do have the sometimes we see it or we get it in our own checkups of like, are you crying for more than this days? And they do
Yeah.
see that. And sometimes some great doctors really do have in-depth conversations and make really great referrals. but I think even for parents as well, going to QPR is important and having those conversations. So another little pitch on why
Yeah.
people should come to QPR training, because the skills are for all ages. So
Caitlin, what does QBR stand for?
question, persuade, refer.
Okay.
So those are the 3 steps in how to start a conversation with somebody who either you might notice self-isolating, very depressed. So again, asking the question, are you feeling like you are going to hurt yourself? Are you feeling suicidal? Persuading them to finding help, getting help that they need, and then referring. Actually, either going with the person or providing the resources or making the phone call with them to getting the help that they need. So, and it's a kind of the training itself, that acronym helps people to remember.
Yeah.
And then I do try to do a little role playing so that you practice, because the more that you practice, the more easier to have that conversation with somebody. And then not feeling like if I trigger them, because that's like the number one thing. Like we feel like we're going to trigger them, we're going to put
Yeah.
thoughts in their head, but that's really just a myth. It's a hard myth that people really don't believe is a myth, but it is a myth. You aren't going to put the thoughts in their heads. I know Sue joined the
I did the training.
training.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did the training and I thought it was
Mhm.
really good. And that was the big hang up I had. So it was actually really good to hear like people who've studied it, and have like real experience and data to kind of dispel that myth. So that was, I thought it was really helpful, even just for that point alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So
definitely
again,
a
it is
common
for
base.
all ages and can be used. The skills can be used for all ages. Eventually, hopefully, again, it's a lot of logistics we probably have to figure out on our end and parent permission and stuff
Yeah.
to do it for younger ages and high schoolers. But I think all adults should kind of learn and practice the skills. So
So the 7th, 9th, and 11th graders do have SOS, which is signs of suicide training,
Hmm.
and a screening in 7th, 9th, and 11th grade.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do feel that way, Sue, that it's so common that if you talk about it, it's going to trigger someone to go do it.
Yeah.
Kind of
Mhm.
like it's kind of like sex ed, right? If we talk about it,
It
they're going to
it
go.
totally is. Yes.
Mhm.
So it's like almost like if you just don't like, it seems so ridiculous, but
Yeah.
as a parent, I feel like it's like if you kind of keep the bubble a bubble, but this doesn't make any sense. So I thought that part was very, you guys did a great job with that part. It was really helpful.
I'd like to shout out our Health and Human Services Department. I think they're doing an amazing job.
Me too. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if there's nothing else, we can make a motion to adjourn.
I just want to
Oh,
add one thing for the speaker series. It's
oh,
a
absolutely.
bit of a pivot. I don't have an individual or like a representative institution in mind, but I would love to keep mulling over among our network who might come in that speaks to the younger age demographic. Um, you know, partly biased. My kid's 4 compared to all the teens that
Yeah.
we have otherwise on here. But it does also just feel like a bit of a gap in town, frankly. Not for lack of the town trying. There's a lot available, but I think it doesn't really resonate with the resources and the connectivity in quite the same way at this stage.
So are you thinking like 3 to 6 or elementary
I
school?
think maybe even young elementary school. I think young elementary school really depends, to my understanding so far, on like your in network at your one school. And so it's still just you don't get quite that town wide connectivity until your kids are a little bit older.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, if you don't play sports, it's difficult because music starts normally in 5th grade.
Mm,
So the library has amazing programs, but not everyone attends at the same time. So that's definitely something to look into.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, because to that end, the library, it's the inconsistency of that contact is, I think, a real barrier there. But the staff themselves are incredible. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Carrie,
Does
were
ev-
you
oh,
thinking of, oh, sorry,
no, go ahead.
were you thinking about activities for that age group or programs for the parents of that age group?
I think more so probably programs for parents. There's quite a lot in town for kids. So if your kid isn't in school between the different rec activities and the library programming, there's quite a lot you can go do by day. Um, and even with that, that drop-in style, you will still build up at least some sort of ongoing like touch point or network or place to go. But I think the duration of those is still usually a 6 or 8 week enrollment, and it is highly transitory across the board, where it's really easy to become untethered very quickly. I think until Erica's point, until you either have a kid that's in an activity that has a lot of longevity and is outside of the school system. Yeah.
Think about, we had a great presenter that did it on building resiliency in your students and your kids,
Mhm.
and wonder if that person would do it for a younger age group too. I think that's an important skill for parents to have.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
would just add resiliency and mindset too.
Mm.
So like growth mindset. There's some people who speak on that topic, which
Mhm.
seems like a advanced topic, but I think it can be very young. Like my son has dyslexia, so we very early on had to work on his mindset. So
Mm.
that could be something as well.
I love that. Yeah.
Harry, are you looking for like a speaker to come in, and would it be like in person or virtual? Do you have like a preference for that?
Yeah, I was thinking for this speaker series, I almost originally
Oh,
was
okay.
thinking it could be part of the pediatric voice, but that does feel like we're putting a lot into that one particular
Yeah.
potential bucket. Um, I know I think similarly from that more pediatric standpoint, I think there's just a lot of differences that you're also seeing in the younger generations in their social, emotional, and behavioral development. Um, and the it's continuing even as the world, has really solidly had multiple years of resumed activity post-COVID.
I
Um,
wonder if I
yeah.
wonder if we could look at one of the school psychologists,
Yeah.
one of the elementary schools, to come in and maybe do a presentation, or well, we're not a presentation, it's a workshop with parents of children under the age of, say, third grade and under, of what to look for, and
I do.
just,
Oh,
oh,
sorry, Erica. I do think they have a big social emotional learning component that the district is focusing on. I don't know if Mary Ellen knows more about that, but I wonder if there's some way to roll it down to those younger kids pre-elementary.
Mhm.
I'm still confused about the speaker series because I'm thinking, like, is this something for this group or is it something for the community? And I keep getting conflicting messages. Like, maybe it's just me not absorbing it right. But I think that, yes, in the elementary schools, we have a second step is a SEL curriculum that is used pre-K, well, pre-K to 8 in our district. So I think like everybody knows that we need to build the social emotional skills of all of our, our children. Um, and so I think that I'd like to clarify, are we talking about someone to come to this meeting to just give a little snippet or to provide something for the parents of the youth in our community? As the youth commission, this is what we'd like to do. We'd like to do a speaker series so people know every month we're going to bring someone in to help build your toolbox to raise your child. Like, is that what we're thinking or no?
I thought it was more for a speaker to come to the youth commission.
But I thought, did you pivot, Carrie?
I didn't mean to, but it sounds like we have pivoted. I don't hate that as the long. I was originally thinking just to help us be more informed of what's even going on with the younger age bracket and for families with kids who are younger. I know with the pediatrician conversation, Joan, you'd also mentioned the possibility of a workshop. Down the road, I wouldn't be opposed to us considering that as what we can help build as an offering to the town, but I think that's a longer pipeline to build out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was seeing it as speakers coming to the youth commission, and then we work off of the advice that they offer.
Mhm.
I could have that wrong, but that's how I
No,
was seeing it.
That was my understanding too. And certainly if somebody came and, had a message for us that we felt, let's go with this and we can put it out to the community at a larger scale. I would think that's right in line with what we do on the youth commission. If I misunderstood, but yeah, we discussed it when we were setting our goals of setting up like a speaker series. And again, my understanding was that they'd come to our meetings each month. We try to get somebody on every month and then decide whether it's something, with that individual we could turn it into something larger and put it out into the community. But at a minimum, it's only fulfilling us and, allowing us to do our roles at a higher level.
So maybe we can start with the three, just kind of we can all research. So was it Ben Speaks? Judy was
Yeah.
So Ben
I'll
Speaks
get some
and
information to you, Erica, and we can maybe discuss it at the at the next meeting. Or is it something maybe we can just get her on the agenda if she's available next month? I was just looking up the website and she has a big thing coming in March, a big awareness thing. But I'll look into it. I'll send you what I can find, Erica.
yeah, and I'll do the same. And then
we'll
Dr.
start.
Medina,
Mhm.
and then maybe a school psychologist, or if anyone has any other ideas for the younger group, we can bring that up too. So we can kind of research those three areas, and then bring what we have maybe next meeting and go from there. Does that sound like it would work?
That sounds great. Thanks for
Yeah.
using it.
I actually, something else comes to mind, and I'm thinking maybe is Mary Ellen still in? Mary Ellen, CC Doucette. Does that name ring a bell? She's the Massachusetts. I'm not gonna get her title correct, but she's the Massachusetts Director for Safer Technology, and she goes out to high schools and she kind of advocates for safer ways to minimize Wi-Fi and the transmission, I'm messing it up. I don't do it justice, but it's just the ways to she tries to educate on what Wi-Fi does for like behavior, and it can contribute to anxiety or whatever. But anyway, that's her job. She just goes around to school districts throughout the state and advocates for, look, can we unplug a little bit, or can we use an Ethernet cable instead of this or something. So I'll collect her information, and maybe we can just have talk about some of these people that we might find value to bring to our meetings, and then decide if we want to put it out to the town for something larger.
We can look at, I mean, we can look into all of, we can look into that as well. I do know that I believe they get quite a bit of digital education in the schools.
Mhm.
But if it was something we wanted to have her come out and speak to us, that would work too. And I know Caitlin did the anxiety generation as one of her books too. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that will,
and I think I actually had a couple of teachers do came to that as well.
oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a read for one of the schools too, for the teachers. So, but yeah, so a lot of different avenues that we can go with different speakers, um, and tackling different age groups.
Yeah.
So everyone good? We can take a, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Um, Sue has made a motion to adjourn and Joan has seconded it. Everyone approve?
I
Aye. Aye. All right. Well, thank you again and stay warm, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you all next month.
all right.
All right, take
Bye.
care.
Bye,
Good
everybody.
night.
It'll be
you.
spring by then.